Boo, bringing crafting to you. Today I'm going to show you this lovely Funfold card. It is the 5x7 size, but so that you don't use a whole sheet of card, I've done it as a Funfold where you don't need to cut any off because of the way you cut your card, but it makes a beautiful card. So here we are. To start with, you need a piece that is the normal A4 in size in the width by 7 inches down. So that's your full A4 width by your 7 inches down. You are then going to score that at 5 inches. So if you do it that way and score it at 5 inches, then that makes it easy. So score it at 5 inches. Then we're going to get rid of any burrs. So let's just go around that. Get rid of any burrs going off around there. And then we're just going to burnish that. So there we go. I'm using polished pink today. I'm just going to do that on the front and the back. Okay, so we'll do inside first. So I've got a piece of the Artistically inked paper. Unfortunately, can't get this anymore, but I'm going to use up my stock. And this measures 2 3/8. So this measures 2 3/8 by 6 3/4. I'll just check that, because actually I think, yes, I'll just check that on my trimmer. Sorry about that. I think I've altered what I normally do, so I've got to make sure. Okay, so it is 2 3/8, and this measures 6 3/4. That's it. So let's close that up a minute, and we're going to, I've just not done a good job there. I can see some burrs sticking up there. Okay, so I've also got a piece of white cardstock, the basic white, and that measures, that measures 2 3/8, again by your 6 3/4. Okay, so before we put it in though, I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to use my polished pink. No, I'm not. To start with, I'm going to use, I've picked it up now, the wrong one. Sorry about this. So I'm just going to do that roughly about halfway down. There we go. Oh, I've just put my hands on that. Okay. Got other things on your mind, you start thinking about things, and then you're not concentrating properly. So sorry about that. I'm just going to wipe this ink off me. I'm going to just wipe up my butterfly stamp. Now this was a free one at Celebration that I've got. Was it collecting, what was it called? It was called Catching Butterflies, and I've never used it yet, and I've picked the font out of that today, the sentiment, and this beautiful array of butterflies I just thought was so pretty, so I'm using that as well. So I'm going to stamp the butterflies in polished pink. I've left a load of things that I've been stamping with on my actual ink block, and all I'm going to do is just how did I stamp the other ones? I stamped them coming down, so I'm just gonna stamp that coming down like that at the top, and then we'll do it. So I'm going to do that opposite, do that like that, I think. Okay, there we go. I'll leave that out of the way for the moment. So we're going to glue these in together now, because then we'll get them a little bit better positioned. So it's beautiful paper, this Impressions in Ink paper, absolutely stunning. I've loved every moment of it. You can't, as I say, you can't get it now, but if you've got it, then this is something that you can use, because we all go on to the next one and we forget about the ones that we've got now. I'm just going to line these up. That's about equal. So I can put this on as well. I'll just put them on there. So it's just that you've got that lovely paper showing, and that hides your writing and your sentiment. Okay, let's just bring that down again. So now I've got a piece from the same set, and this is 3 inches wide. So this is going to be 3 inches by your 6 3/4. So just going to put this on now. There we go. Bring that in so it's got equal increments all the way round. Make sure you get that level there. Okay, now I've already done the best wishes. So I've just got a piece, and it is 3.5 by 2 7/8. So that was 3.5 by 2 7/8. And so I've just made this one a little bit bigger so that we've got a nice border around there. So I said that was 2 7/8. So this is 3, should be 3 1/8. I think mine are slightly bigger. So you want it 1/4 inch on all around bigger. So that was 3 3/4, because just let me check, that was 3.5. Did I say that? 3.5. So this is 3 3/4. If that's 2 7/8, then this should be 3 1/8. So you just want it that 1/4 inch bigger all around. So I'm just going to glue that on there. Now, ahead of time, to save this time, I have cut out the gold leaf, and I've actually today just rather than cutting the whole of the gold leaf out, I've cut bits. So if I'd got some gold card that would just get that out, I've just cut that out, and then just any spare bits. So I've got lots of little bits of the gold, because we're going to be chopping it up anyway, so that's fine. Right, now I'm going to put this on to start with. Now you don't want to be gluing all of it, but just put it about 1 inch or so up your card, and we're looking for equal distances there and there. Now with the stripy paper, it's a bit hard to see where I'm going. My eyes are focusing on so many different things. I just put my thumb, and I know that I can actually put glue in all this part now. So I'm putting glue in all that part that's going to hold it on, and then put it back. As I say, it's roughly about 1 inch up. I'm eyeballing that. You just want to make sure that this piece of card is straight, and that has gone wonky now. Let me just pop that back on. I'll re-wet my glue. It was all right, and then when you mess about with it before your glue's dry, you can sometimes make it go wonky. So I'm going to just have to pop that back on, and then I'm going to wonk it up the other bit. So let's see. So just tilt that. Let's see if I can put that about there. And I'm using my board a bit. If you've got grid paper, just use your grid paper a little bit. I think I've got that. That's about right. There. Using my grid as a right angle guide there. I think that's looking as though it should be right. Okay, so just get that adhered a little bit. So I'm going to bring my other card along for me to follow. So what I like to do is I like to roughly put my flowers on first to see where I want them to go roughly. So I want them to frame my best wishes. So it's going to be kind of going in this direction. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit, deciding where I want it to go. And I'd used, what part of the flower? I'd got that part. The flatter part I'd kind of put on an angle. Now, I'm going to have it about there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some tear and tape now. And I'm just going to tear a little bit off. And I want my leaves to come roughly around this sort of space here. Now you must be careful that you don't go over the edge of the card. So you must keep in the perimeters of your card. So I'm going to put this a little bit further like that. So I'm thinking that I'm going to work on that little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tear and tape behind that little bit and then build up my leaves behind it. So I want my leaf, let's just put it in the position-ish. I'm going to put my leaf about there. It's not going to be exactly the same as the other one. It'll be roughly. And I'm going to put a gold leaf either side of it. So could actually put these there as well. So I'm putting those at areas there. Now you see I can let go because that's all stuck on my tear and tape. So that's the idea. If you can stick it on your tear and tape, and that's going to be its position. So I'm now going to glue it. I'm going to put some on the leaves, not all the way to the top, but I'm going to put some so it's going to catch the leaves. Then I'm going to look again, making sure that my leaves are not going over that edge. So if I have to handle my my flower, I will do. So I'm just determining where it's going to be because of how I've got my leaves on now. So it's going to have to go about there because I'm making sure that those are not sticking over the edge. Okay, so I might have changed the flower arrangement totally, but that's fine. Every card, like your rose bushes, your flowers are never the same, so your group of flowers are never going to be the same. So I'm going to stick another flower on the top, but again I'm going to look where I think I want my leaves coming and get some tear and tape. So I'm going to have some leaves coming up here, I think. So I'm going to get my tear and tape and just again take a little bit off and then just plant that on the back like that. Oops. Like that. And then take that off. And put it in position. Might want it like that. So this time I'm going to stick a gold leaf on top, and then I'm going to bring these down underneath like that. Now, is that going to stick on for me? Yep, that's holding it, so I'm going to look there. Now I might want some leaves coming out over here as well, so I'm going to stick some tear and tape on there as well. Put it back in position to see whereabouts I want them. So let's see, I want it about, yeah, I think I'll bring it down a bit. So I'm going to stick it underneath that V there. Again, take that off, and let's have a look how I want it. So that's going to be off the side. I'm going to stick this on there, and I'm going to squeeze that in there like that, just making sure that they're not going over the edge. That's fine, that's going to work. So I'm going to put that one on now. So again, just put a little bit so that it picks up a bit of the glue, just in case they come, and then just re-go on to make sure that it's not going over that edge. So think about there, and I'm just lifting it up. Right, can you see I've got glue there? So I don't want anything to actually go on that glue now, because that's not where I want it. So I'm going to wipe that glue up there a bit. So I'll leave that there for the moment. So I'm only lightly going to touch that, because let that dry, and I might stick something on the back of there now. So we'll sort that out in a minute. And then the final one, I kind of want to come down in here. So I'm again going to put some leaves going up here, and we'll have some of these leaves going up this time. Or am I going to bring these leaves down? Actually, I think I want those down. I might just put some gold leaves on that. So I'm going to cut this a bit smaller and bring in a bit more of my tear and tape, because I want some coming out. So I'm going to stick that on there, and let's just get that coming off, releasing it. So that's going to be there, and we've got to watch the words, so let's watch the words. So I think we're all right at that. And I think, have we got any tear and tape there? No. Oh, we did have a bit actually. I didn't think we did, but we did. So I'm going to stick those down there, and I'm going to look for, I've got a half one. You see what I mean about I've cut some out, so I'm going to use every little bit so I can tuck that in under there. So we're going to tuck that in there. Okay, and I'm happy. So I'll leave that at that. So I need to stick again all the glue on to pick it up, and just make sure I'm bringing those in the right place so that it doesn't cover the words, doesn't go over the outside. There we go. Oops, that slipped down a bit. So let's take that back up, because we don't want it on the words and we don't want it going over the edge. want it back. So you just move it around and just keep having a look at all the different angles. We can take that up a little bit so it's not over. Right there, I'll commit to that. Okay, so that's gone on there. Okay, and it looks a bit bare of leaves there, so let's have a look at this, whether I can just, what does that, do I like that going up there? Yeah, I might just take that a little bit up there, so I'm going to put that one in and tuck that up there like that. Okay, so we've got lots of lovely gold going off. Just make sure at the back we're all right with the back. Okay, and now I've got these nice little butterflies. Now we've got something in the catalogue with these little butterflies. These are from a die set that I've actually got, so I can cut these little butterflies out, but that set's no longer available. I think it was called Beauty Abounds, but the actual little butterflies that we've got would be absolutely perfect for this. So I use a little glue dot to put on the back, and then I'm just going to put one in the centre there. Just get to make sure that they're stuck with your glue dot. So I'm just putting, you get these in kits. Our Stampin' Up sold these separate because they sell glue dots on the reels, but I don't get on with those as well as I do with these, so I don't use any of these with the kits that I buy, but I use them for putting on bows and things like that. So I'm gonna stick one up here going onto the flower, and let's have a look on this one. I think I'm going to have one going out that way. So if you can see, I've put them in a triangle, and I just think that's really pretty. You can use gems instead. I hope you could see everything that I was doing then, because I wasn't stood up, so can't see, but you can stick gems in these. In fact, I want one more in the centre here. Now, because I'm putting one more in the centre, it's always best to put an odd number. Well, that will take it to an even number. So I want to put one coming off that centre there. So therefore, I want to add another one now, so that gives me 5. It's more aesthetically pleasing to have odd numbers. So look, that's not quite. Where do I want this one? Anywhere. I want it. I think I want it over there really, but this one has got less. I might just put it there. Okay, so there's 2 on there. So so there's this one. They open it up, celebrate everything beautiful, and then there's this one. So this, I use the hand pens. This was the hand penned. So hand penned meets Artistically ink. So I just think they're both really lovely cards to be able to give out. Let me pull them down into your screenshot a little bit better. I hope that's going to be all right where I've been filming today. because I film on my phone, sometimes I'm not seeing. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and press the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my uploads. I have got quite a few, so if you're a new subscriber, go back and check out my previous videos, because they're full of useful information and give you lots of card ideas. So as I say, stay safe, stay well. Thank you. Bye for now.